On a fateful night in 1985, a crime was committed, setting in motion a series of events that would forever alter the course of Timothy Cole's life. On March 24, 24-year-old Texas Tech student Michelle Mallon was parking her car in a church lot across from her dormitory in Lubbock, Texas. An African-American man approached her, asking her to help him start his car with jumper cables. When she revealed she didn't have any, he forced himself inside. He drove to a desolate field on the outskirts of town where he sexually assaulted her. After the horrific act, he drove back to Lubbock, robbed her of a mere $2, a ring and a watch, and then fled on foot. Shaken but alive, Mallon contacted the police and reported the ordeal. Mallon described her attacker to the police as a young African-American man. She didn't provide many other details, but she did mention that her attacker had smoked cigarettes throughout the assault. The police, who were already on the hunt for an unidentified serial rapist known as the Tech Rapist, suspected that Mallon's attacker might be the same individual. The police sketch from Mallon's description was added to the collection of composite sketches from other victims and published in the Texas Tech campus newspaper. Little did Mallon know, her description of her attacker would lead investigators to an innocent man, Timothy Cole. In the wake of the crime, the investigation began, setting its sights on an unknown serial rapist known as the Tech Rapist. The police were on high alert, scanning the campus and surrounding areas for any individual fitting this description. Among the many students at Texas Tech, one individual unwittingly attracted the attention of the investigators. Timothy Cole, a 26-year-old Army veteran pursuing a business degree, became a person of interest after a seemingly innocuous conversation with a female detective outside a pizza joint near the campus. This interaction triggered the chain of events that would drastically alter Cole's life. A detective visited Cole's residence to snap a Polaroid picture of him, a photograph that would soon find its way into a photo lineup alongside 5 mug shots. The lineup was presented to Mallon, who, upon seeing Cole's photo, was immediately convinced that he was her attacker. Despite the glaring inconsistency in the lineup, Cole's photo being the only Polaroid and the only one with the subject facing the camera, the police pressed on. An in-person lineup followed, with Cole standing alongside 4 prisoners. Mallon identified Cole again, though victims from similar attacks failed to recognize him as the perpetrator. Yet this did not deter the police. Armed with Mallon's identification, they arrested Cole, charging him with aggravated sexual assault. With Mallon's identification, the wheels of injustice began to turn, ensnaring Timothy Cole in a nightmare he couldn't awaken from. The investigation, which began with the intention of pursuing justice, had instead set into motion a tragic tale of wrongful conviction. Charged with aggravated sexual assault, Timothy Cole found himself standing trial, facing a future he could never have imagined. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation, the jury attentive, and the atmosphere heavy with the weight of the crime at hand. The prosecution presented their case, laying down the sequence of events as they believed it had unfolded. The key piece of evidence was Mallon's testimony. She took to the stand, her voice steady yet filled with emotion as she identified Cole as the man who had attacked her. Her words echoed in the courtroom, painting a picture of the harrowing night and leaving a lasting impression on those present. The prosecution then called upon a forensic examiner from the Texas Department of Public Safety. He testified that an analyst in his lab had examined the rape kit collected from Mallon at the hospital post-attack. The tests, he said, determined that sperm was present on the swabs from Mallon's body. Serology testing found evidence of type T, the same as Cole's. However, the defense brought up several inconsistencies. On the night Mallon was assaulted, he was studying at home, where his brother was hosting a card game. Furthermore, victims from the similar December and January rapes viewed the lineup and did not identify Cole as their attacker. Despite these points, they were overshadowed by the weight of Mallon's testimony and the forensic evidence. The jury deliberated, wrestling with the facts, testimonies, and evidence presented. The tension was palpable as the jury returned with their verdict: guilty. A collective gasp echoed in the courtroom as the verdict was read. Despite the glaring inconsistencies, Timothy Cole was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Locked away for a crime he didn't commit, Timothy Cole's life was reduced to a prison cell. His dreams of a successful career in business brought to an abrupt halt. The vibrant Army veteran, once a beacon of potential, was now a number in a system that had failed him. From the confines of his cell, Timothy bore the weight of his wrongful conviction with resilience. He clung to hope, steadfastly maintaining his innocence. His days were spent in the monotonous routine of prison life, counting down the years of a 25-year sentence that was unjustly his. The impact of his conviction rippled outward, touching the lives of those who loved him. His family grappled with a profound sense of loss, their lives overshadowed by the injustice that Timothy had suffered. His mother, her heart heavy with sorrow, tirelessly advocated for her son. His siblings, robbed of their brother's presence, fought alongside her, their determination fueled by the knowledge of his innocence. In the bleak environment of the prison, Timothy faced numerous struggles. The harsh reality of prison life was a constant battle. The solitude, the lack of freedom, the relentless uncertainty, these were the realities that Timothy had to confront every single day. Yet his spirit remained unbroken. He used his time behind bars to educate himself, devouring books and becoming a self-taught legal scholar. He wrote countless letters pleading his case to anyone who would listen. Timothy's conviction also brought him face to face with a harsh truth: the flaws in the criminal justice system. He became a symbol of the many innocent individuals who fall through the cracks, their voices silenced, their pleas for justice unheard. While he fought for his freedom, time was running out for Timothy Cole. His story, though tragic, serves as a stark reminder of the dire consequences of wrongful convictions and the urgent need for criminal justice reform. In 1999, Timothy Cole took his last breath behind bars, but his story was far from over. A narrative of injustice, a life lost, was about to unravel a profound revelation. A decade after his death, a glimmer of truth emerged from the shadows. In 2008, the Lubbock Police Department received a confession letter from a man named Jerry Wayne Johnson, already serving time in prison for similar crimes. He confessed to being the perpetrator of the crime that had put Timothy Cole behind bars. Johnson had tried to confess to the crime earlier, but his words fell on deaf ears. Now, with the advent of more advanced DNA technology, his confession could be verified. The evidence from the case was re-examined. The DNA found at the scene did not match Cole's. It was a match for Johnson. The truth had lain dormant for years, buried under layers of prejudice and rushed judgments. The DNA evidence, once a silent bystander, now spoke loud and clear. It painted a picture of a crime committed not by Timothy Cole, but by Jerry Wayne Johnson. This revelation sent shockwaves through the judicial system. The man who had spent his final years in a cell, wrongfully convicted, was innocent. The realization was a damning indictment of the system that had failed Timothy Cole. It took another year for the wheels of justice to turn. In 2009, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals overturned Cole's conviction. Timothy Cole, the man who had died in prison for a crime he did not commit, was finally exonerated. Posthumously, he was granted the freedom that had been so cruelly snatched from him in life. The story of Timothy Cole is a harrowing reminder of the fallibility of our justice system. It's a tale of a life lost, a truth buried, and a justice delayed. But it's also a testament to the enduring power of truth. The truth may be suppressed, it may be overlooked, but eventually it comes to light. A decade after his death, Timothy Cole was finally free. His name was cleared, but the cost was a life that could have been. Timothy Cole's exoneration sent shockwaves across the nation, raising questions about the justice system. His wrongful conviction, the years he spent behind bars, and the ultimate validation of his innocence, all serve as a reminder of what exists within our legal framework. The implications of Cole's case have been profound, sparking a nationwide dialogue on the need for criminal justice reform. His story has inspired a re-evaluation of processes, from police lineups to the reliance on eyewitness testimonies, which have been proven to be fallible. It has compelled many to question the extent to which such practices should be relied upon in determining an individual's guilt or innocence. In the wake of Cole's posthumous exoneration, Texas, the state where he was wrongfully convicted, has made significant strides in addressing the flaws in its justice system. The Timothy Cole Advisory Panel on Wrongful Convictions was established to review the causes of wrongful convictions and recommend reforms. This panel's recommendations led to the passing of the Timothy Cole Act in 2011, which increased compensation for the wrongfully convicted. Yet the fight for justice reform is far from over. Across the nation, advocates continue to push for changes in the system to prevent more innocent lives from being unjustly taken away by wrongful convictions. They champion for improvements in forensic science, the elimination of false confessions, and the reduction of government misconduct, among other issues. Moreover, Cole's case has also amplified the call for the abolition of the death penalty. The thought of an innocent person being executed, as Cole could have been, is a chilling reminder of the irreversible harm that can be done when the justice system fails. Indeed, Timothy Cole's story is a sobering testament to the human cost of a flawed justice system. His life, his struggle, and his posthumous exoneration have served to ignite a transformative discourse on justice reform in the United States. Timothy Cole's story serves as a stark reminder of the flaws in our justice system and the dire need for reform.